Apologies, folks. We are back, hopefully, with the bulk of qualifying left to run. I can't even explain it. Told me my wired cable was unplugged, replugged, unplugged, replugged over and over again. Very, very strange. Never had that particular error before. So let's just, fingers crossed, hope it does not return to us. Anyway, this is back at the International Racing League Season 3, Round 3 of the championship, as we join Merckx on board, hoping to build on his strong start to the season that he managed last week out in Spain. We're at Jeddah, though, for the race as we head out at the final corner, looking for a good qualifying time here. It's second to Ricky Maru, and how about that to take us on from where we left off last time out? 11 thousandths of a second separating them only, which was absolutely incredible. Joining the silver and black arrow then, for the first time this season, this time on board though with Psycho Lemmy, who is going to try and qualify for the first time with us here at the International Racing League, as he takes us into and out of the final corner, almost Verstappen's it into the Aramco hoardings on the outside of the circuit. I don't wish to trigger anybody with that one, but 128.429 means we have a ferociously competitive head of the field as things stand, with Speedy Spud, the only car currently qualifying. A big drift mid-corner from Speedy Spud at the final turn on the medium tyres. It's probably why he's struggling. A 139.606. He did use ERS on that previous lap, so it wasn't necessarily just a charge lap, but a slow one nonetheless. We have Alpha Alex, who seems to have not been able to connect, or disconnected, much perhaps like I did. A very strange situation befell me, a problem I have never had, and be assured here that at no point did I manually unplug and replug in my wired in connection, as I'm sure you know. Great to see Claudio here, so obrigado, meu sobrino. Fantastic to have him join us in the chat, and I will keep up the good work. I hope that's not the first time you've tuned in to one of my races, because I just had an unknown error. Anyway, we won't dwell, as Speedy Spud is just winding his way back for an in-lap at the moment. We have some out-laps though at the moment, including our double champ, the Maestro Moist, as ARL surprises me at least by being circulating on a lap, third lap on his medium tyres, goes fastest on a 128.180. How's that for some fantastic pace build-up from ARL, who, as I said earlier on the previous stream, I will update everybody with the championship standings at the end of qualifying today instead, but he finds himself in third position in the Drivers' Championship at the moment, and yet still winless and desperate to add to that particular stat. So here we go with Strike Moist for a flying lap. The Kick Sauber at the on the left of the track got out of his way. Ricky Maru, though, heading through and back onto pole position on his second hot lap on the same set of tyres, a 127.876. So something about the way they've managed to organise this race, this qualifying session as well. Strike Moist has to go straight through a stranded car. That was Speedy Spud, who had destroyed his Haas in the exit of turns 2 and 3. And great to have Respond joining us as well. New fastest lap from Merckx, a 127.692, as we ride with the double champ Moist, who has to raise his game once again to try and build his championship bid, and to try and retain his championship for the second time, to become a triple champion, of course, here for Moist. Doing his level best, but he's not had the rub of the green, or a particularly fortunate run in the first 2 races of our season, but I'm sure no one more keen to correct that than the Maestro. Heading through the gears, the beep indicating that the DRS is open. One more braking opportunity left to go for Moist here to maximise this particular initial lap. He played it very cool in Spain. Did he play it too cool perhaps to go a single hot lap? Don't think the drivers will be doing that today in Jeddah as we go over the line with Moist. That's a 135.1. Plenty of time still to find on the track. We've got lots of drivers out on the circuit. We've got Floyd Pink in the Red Bull here, and ARL saying hoping for better pace to be more up front for the championship, for the fight. Well, you're in a good place to start this one. Third place for ARL, taking the V-Carbs to P2 and P3, with Merckx on top at the moment. Ole has shown well in fourth for McLaren. Great to see newcomers and old hands in the grid, mixing it up at the top of the order. Lemmy and Milan fifth and sixth, with another returnee, Jay, in P7 on a 1:29.007. Very close times at the top, and I think we will get even closer with 8 minutes left to go before the checkered flag, and you must have started your final attempt at a flying lap before that checkered flag falls. Crossing the line then for Floyd Pinker, 1:30.639. We also have a Haas still left in qualifying, and that is Leon, host of the session today. So Leon just managing everything for everybody. Stars and stripes on the halo as usual here for the Haas. I do believe Leon is actually a Brit, but that's a purple first sector for him, of course only for him, because he's yet to set his fast time. Welcome everybody to the stream today. Thank you so much for liking the video, for commenting wherever possible, and contributing to our evening's entertainment. Let me have your predictions as Leon gets all crossed up through a very difficult sector of sector 2 of the racetrack, beeping for the DRS in the middle sector before the breaking point for the fairly nonsense curb that has caught Lance Stroll out several times over the years and left him in the barriers. Several other drivers as well, it must be said. Another bout of DRS as we take the long sweeping left-hander, where we may see some hijinks for DRS detection on the approach into the final corner. Chuck Norris says Moist needs that number 1 spot back, and well, certainly our championship could do with another new winner for sure, as Leon crosses the line and gets a 6th place, 1:28.806. Another good time from him. The Williams have been fairly quiet so far. We haven't seen them yet, but we have PRS on board. You can see the rear end of the car just getting away from him, but he's managing it and floating the car through the corners absolutely spot on. Let's see what this first sector looks like for PRS, and I hope you'll forgive if we skip around now that we've got into this meaty end of qualifying. 0.2 of a second over his fast time so far. His teammate is out at the moment, so is ARL. Let's join ARL, who is 0.75 of a second up, it seems. Certainly on the outlap, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. He's in sector 1 at the moment. Let's see as he navigates past the Red Bull, who is courteously running off the racing line and completely off the racing track for us. Kick Sauber weaving in front. ARL has to just go full beans at this corner, and he's 1/4 of a second up in the first sector alone. Merckx holds the fastest lap, 1:27.692 from Ricky Maru, but teammate ARL in the V-Carb is flying right now. I try not to say too much about ARL because I know he listens in live, or at least stream delayed by 20 seconds, but he's slowed. He's not happy. He's not happy with this lap. He's held the car in 6th gear. He's going to reharvest that electrical energy and rebuild for the next one. Something went down there. It didn't outright invalidate, but he wasn't happy with the performance of the car. A little bit happier. It's Ricky Maru in 2nd place at the moment as he gets down into the order. I know several of our drivers have been at Silverstone today for the Grand Prix. No spoilers from me, of course. I know not everybody has the ability to watch the Grand Prix late, but that does live, I should say. But not that does excuse why some of our drivers are missing today. 83 thousandths of a second faster is Ricky Maru only on this next flying lap. Merckx playing it cool for one more run, I think. That may be a double run, but it's only one more run as Ricky Maru goes through other drivers' tyre smoke on his way into the second sector. Weaving around now. In front of him is the McLaren. It's a difficult track to get out of the way, and he's doing his absolute best to make that happen as Ricky, slight hint of a drift through that penultimate braking zone on the lap. Speedy Spud is moving down the order because he has effectively destroyed the car, but his time will stand, so he may not have to start right at the very back Neither will he have to fit any new components. DRS open for Ricky Maru as he goes towards the line for this lap. It's faster, but not fast enough. Only a tiniest of margins separating himself and Merckx at the top of the order, with ARL still in with a shot here of beating his position, beating his teammate on this current second lap on the tyres. On this set of soft tyres. 3 minutes 28 left to go. ARL needs to make this one work. He's still seeming to be weaving on the way into the final corner. Surely he's not done and going for another lap after this one. No, he's not happy. He's into the pit. Strike Moist has gone in second, a 1:27.703. That gap looked too small for a driver to fit in, but Moist found the gap into second position. 1:27.703 plays 1:27.692 from Merckx. Tremendously close at the front. Let's ride with one of the kick salvers, but this one happens to have invalidated. We've got Merckx coming out of the pits to defend his current best lap. We've got a Williams also having invalidated his current lap. Sticky is coming towards the end of his current fast lap attempt on all new soft tyres, and we'll be hoping to try and see him move forward from 13th position, get closer on terms with his teammate Ollie, who is currently in provisional 5th position. Sticky almost rubbing the inside wall on the final corner of the race. Milan has retired from the session in 8th position. That might be an accident as Sticky overhauls Milan and goes into that 8th position, and it's all building for a big final 2 minutes of qualifying. We join Merckx for his outlap at the moment, looking for that open racetrack in front of him. It looks like he's got some good opportunity here. He's getting out of the way of a in-lapping, I believe, driver. Was Moist just in-lapping at that point on the track, waiting then for Merckx to come in and get ready for his final attempt. He's just warming those soft tyres now, looking at the track map, making sure he's got an opening. The other Aston Martin of Marco is currently in front of him on the grid. On the track. I don't think that's going to affect him. It's quite a distance in front unless Marco has an absolute nightmare. Here goes Merckx then. Wide entry to the final corner for the best slingshot possible down this relatively short start-finish straight. It's him versus him at the moment. Ricky Maru is on track as well, but will follow Merckx as long as he stays positive here. The pastel chalk artists have gone to work at the exit of some of these corners as he just throws the car. You have to absolutely believe that your car is going to stick around this circuit. You have to act in absolute faith to make sure that you get the car heading towards the first timing beam. He's up. Merckx is faster. Ricky Maru goes on to pole position, and how about that? The 44-point wearing driver Ricky Maru has a 1:27.444. And he's got the provisional pole at the moment. It does look like Merckx is going to be there or thereabouts. If he, a little hop over the curb, just slightly greedy on the apex curb, might have cost him half a tenth, but that half a tenth is going to be crucial today. I don't think Moist is going to challenge. I don't think Moist is going to start higher than P3 as Merckx has set a purple middle sector despite that little curb hop. He's looking good. 0.3 of a second. He's just got to hook up a couple of braking zones and traction zones in that final sector to try his level best here. It's all about delivery of the throttle on the way out of this final corner. It looks like it's Merckx for the taking. Will it be round 2 of Ricky Maru versus Merckx? Yes, indeed, as Merckx takes the pole, a 1:27.263. I thought Ricky done enough, but Merckx knocked that one out of the park. What a result. ARL is still circulating. It looks like in the first sector he is up by nearly 0.4 of a second. Could he possibly depose Moist? It's immaterial because Ollie goes third. Ollie in the McLaren goes into 3rd position, so Moist will start no higher than 4th now and is getting into danger territory in the midfield. This is perhaps the last driver. It was the first driver on track in the qualifying. ARL is going to be the last driver to set a time, I believe. I don't think Ricky Maru can set another fast time after that 4:44. Here comes ARL then Can he jump? Moist, can he jump? Ollie, even? No! He was half a second faster, but he missed out by 0.02 of a second to improve his performance. But Merckx it is, on top with the checkered flag and the pole position for this third round of the International Racing League Championship. What a fantastic qualifying session that was, and given that the stream was a little late, I will use a little bit of our break period here to make sure that I talk about the standings. Merckx gets the pole by nearly 0.2 of a second from Ricky Maru right at the end of the session. Ollie is in third position with Moist in fourth. ARL is in fifth place. Jay, coming back to the league, is in sixth with Psycho Lemmy, debuting in seventh. Leon Session Host in the Haas is eighth with Sticky, Floyd Pink, Milan Atsu, Speedy Spud, PRS, Marco and Alpha Alex. No time for Alpha Alex, but they have done a fantastic job for us. We will have a short break coming up for you in a second, but what I will do is to just talk you through that championship again, because there's a good chance we'll delete the aborted first stream. The championship as things stand, in first place is Ricky Maru on 44 points, and as I said earlier on, perhaps a good omen today, having 44 points. Merckx is on 25 points for the Stake Sauber Kick F1 team. For VCarb as well is ARL on 21 points, or AJ if you know him in the chat. Alpha Alex is in fourth place on 18 points, but will start this race from the back. Double champ, the Maestro Moist, only on 16 and only in fifth place right now, with Milan on 14th. The Hector, Ollie and Leon joint 7th place on 12 points. Then we have Entronsic, Speedy Spud and Floyd Pink all on 10 points for joint 9th. We have PRS on 6 in 12th, Chuck Norris on 4 in 13th position, and then joint 14th, Sticky and Marco. Nobody else has managed to score just yet in the season, but the season is young. Round 3 of 16. In the team standings, at the top of the team standings are VCarb on 65, Kick Sauber have 25 and Haas 22. Williams have 20. It's like a reverse F1 track championship. Then we have Ferrari in 5th, Aston Martin in 6th, Red Bull and McLaren 7th and 8th, with Mercedes and Alpine yet to score. Let me try and get you an update on that break time. Hopefully. So we will start in 5 minutes time. That is half past the hour that we are currently on. Keep an eye on the stream. Keep an eye on everything. Keep the sound on, because we go straight into the race. We don't have a formation lap, so be quick about your break. Grab a snack. Get comfortable. We're in for a belter around the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Well, folks, we're going to be trackside any moment for you. Thanks for keeping the chat alive, everybody. Fantastic stuff. It's great to see Ole, Floydie, ARL, everybody wishing each other good luck. I think people are going to need it here today. It's going to be tricky. If you do have any divining abilities, I know Leon is something of a clairvoyant from the chat earlier on in the day. Then let me have your prediction for the podium. And as well for how many safety cars we will be suffering through today as well. Hopefully not too many. We don't have a entirely full grid for you, so it could be that we get away with one or two. But I have seen several around this configuration. So let's bear with, and hopefully we'll get through it together. If you see something on screen that I am not talking about, then do mention it. Here we go then. Mercked on the inside and Ricky Maru on the outside. It's lights out and go, go, go. From the start, it looked like Merck getting a good one with Moist also launching into third position. It looks like Director Ollie just crowded out on the inside of the circuit. The Mercedes of Jay climbing up the order as well, getting a good launch straight away. Jay technically into fourth place, but he's hampered on a narrow line into turn 4 and 5, but so was the McLaren behind him. It looks like we've got a string of cars all together at the moment. Merck leads Ricky Maru by 0.3 of a second. That doesn't sound like very much, and it is indeed not very much. How about Alfa Alex moving up the order up to 13th position as Diectorelli sweeps around the outside of turn 13. A class move there from Ollie. And we've also got some side-by-side action with the V-Carb of ARL, who is down into 7th place at the moment. Let's check out the tyre strategies. Almost uniformity on the medium tyres for everybody, but Speedy Spud rolling the dice here at Jeddah, where I don't imagine you can in fact gamble. But I was going to make a casino joke, but I'm certain you can't gamble. Look like Moist over the white line there. Might have picked up a warning. Here is Ricky Maru already on the attack. Are we going to see something like we saw in Spain? Ricky Maru looking for the outside. Is this selling the dummy to Merckx, who defends to the inside? Ricky Maru, though, gathering the pace, looking for a good exit, and the DRS will be enabled straight away now that we race in F1 24 rules, as the camera struggles to focus down into turn 1. It looks like side by side between the two Mercedes, a lock up on the outside by Lemmy. Looks like Lemmy's on the inside, just squirreling his way through, straddling the curbs, looking for that opportunity, and through goes Lemmy up into 5th, but he locks up himself and might have picked up a warning just going through that sector. Ricky Maru is just 1/4 of a second behind Merckx, and half a second behind him is the battle for third between Moist and Ollie. Great to see these two drivers that took us to such a thrill ride in Spain are back together again at the front of the grid. It was Merckx that triumphed in Spain, but Ricky Maru won the race in the first race of the season, so he's got form right now, and the V-Carb team already starting to build the momentum behind their Norwegian peddler. It's Ricky Maru then, who has got through turn 13 safely. He's got the first DRS bout that he's able to really toy with here, and it is helping him close to within 0.2 of a second. That is golden for Ricky Maru. Is he going to pounce immediately? He's got the second DRS zone now. He's already gone past. Merckx is letting this one go, and what we saw in Spain was they were very good to each other throughout the course of the first 2/3 of the race in Spain, where they just traded DRS and didn't see the point in fighting each other. History is repeating itself. 2 changes of the lead in the most recent 2 sectors, as Ricky Maru picks up a fastest lap of the race and gets overtaken himself on that in so doing. But Moist is not going to want them to play a 2-horse race, drifting away from the battle for third. Moist is in position here, ready to pounce on any issues as Alfa Alex, and it looks like Speedy Spud dropping down the order. I don't know if they're in the pits, but they certainly are struggling through turn 1 and 2. I can't take my eyes off this battle at the front of the grid. Leon with a 3-second penalty already. That will not be the first one we see tonight from the drivers, because it's so easy to go over those white lines, and F1 24 is deeply unforgiving in such instances. Through the slower section here at the in the middle section of the track. I'm missing letters out of my words. Very bizarre. Beautiful helicopter shot though from the Saudi Grand Prix overheads. Here comes Ricky Maru back with the DRS. Once again, he'll get another bout of DRS. Oh, our host is retired. I hope he stays because we're all going to have problems. The VSC has come into force as Alpha Alex, and then we will see passing the stricken Leon down into 16th and out of the race, a VSC, and its response said yes, off the rack indeed. The VSC is enacted. Ricky Maru is very, very close here, and he's going for a pit stop this early on lap 3 of 25, going for a cheap pit stop, but he will lose so much track position. The only option surely here is rolling the dice for a zero safety car run to the flag and fitting the hard tyres. But the hard tyres are going to be like ice skates around this this Jeddah circuit. Maybe Ricky feeling like he was going to get a little bit held up, as this is a 4-way, now 3-way battle at the lead. We go green flag racing, and it's Ollie right on the hunt here, following in the wheel tracks of the Valvoline sponsored rear wing of the Aston Martin. Up front, Merckx starting to stretch away a little bit, caught Moist a little bit by surprise with the green flag, or Moist had to run to the Delta and wasn't positive to the Delta, so couldn't get right underneath the car in front. Ollie with a good impetus, but just can't do anything with it in this second sector of the rack of the track. Is lap 4 of 25, and Merckx leads Moist by Ollie. The two Mercedes who have finally found some drivers. Lemmy leads Jay for 4th and 5th. We have then Milan in the 6th position, Atsu in 7th, Ricky Maru down in 8th, and did indeed stop for hard tyres, as everybody else behind him has. Sticky in 9th, Floyd in 10th, ARL in 11th, PRS, Marco, Alpha Alex and Speedy Spud, who switched onto the mediums after starting on the soft tyres. Amazing stuff then for the strategy as we head down the start-finish line once again. This time we are back under green flag conditions, and Moist and Ollie can use the DRS, but can't pass Merckx, just a little bit too far away, and Merckx will be trying to get outside of the DRS detection zone for the car behind and allow Ollie and Moist to continue the fight. We had another penalty. That's Atsu this time with a penalty for track limit abuse, and they are racking up very, very early in our proceedings. Lap 5 of 25. They go by quickly here, as it looks like ARL moving past Floyd Pink further down in the order, but ARL having stopped on the hard tyres now can run to a finish. Won't do, I don't imagine, if we have a later safety car or stoppage. Floyd Pink has retired from the session. Will that trigger us? There he is. Oh, it's the Lance Stroll accident for Floyd Pink down there in the second sorry, no, that's turn 2, isn't it? Sorry, turn 4 and 5, where he's had a problem. So Floyd Pink is out. We will have a full safety car, and now you can well expect the pit stops to take effect, and the drivers at the front of the grid will absolutely come in now for certainty. Response saying safety car numero uno. Floyd Pink has left a pithy, if rather short comment in the driver chat room. Well, I'll just tell you, it begins with an F, and he might have been trying to leave the same comment in the live chat on the YouTube channel, and YouTube didn't let him. Into the pits they all come then. Oh, it looks like Jay has gone through. He's happy on the medium tyres for now, so Jay takes the lead of our race on the medium tyres. That's really interesting. He'll be catching the safety car shortly. As Floydie slightly clipped the wall, he said, yeah, you definitely get a retirement from a slight clip, Floyd. But commiserations that you're out already. Jay picks up the lead of the race. Merckx has now stopped cheaply and put himself up into a second place on the hard tyres. Moist has gone for soft tyres, so Moist should have a good restart. This is quite unusual for Moist. He's somewhat changing tactics here. Very often, Moist is the one on the harder tyres at the start of a race, and likes to be fast at the end of it, and also doesn't like to use his ERS button very much at all at the start of races. But here he is in third place on soft tyres. So can he get ahead of Merckx and Jay? Can he start to build a gap with the soft tyres when he's got the opportunity? Floydie says always the one race he crashes. Well, grab yourself a drink, Floydie, find a pillow to scream into and rejoin us once you've cooled off. But it is lap 6 of 25. We have medium tyres on Jay that have been fitted from the start. The only driver yet to have made a pit stop. Then comes Merckx on the hard tyres. Strike Moist on the softs. Then we have Ricky Maru in 4th place. That gamble did kind of pay off. He's not far away as Floyd is off to make a brew, not a hard drink. Okay, cool. Whatever works. Then comes Ollie and then Psycho Lemmy. We have Milan in 7th, Atsu in 8th with a penalty on the car. Sticky, PRS. And then Alpha Alex, who's been in and out of the session and is currently in 11th place. I hope it wasn't the AI that took him to a monumentally good start of this race and he just ducked away for a moment, put it on pause during the safety car perhaps. Speedy Spud in 12th, ARL down in 13th, and I know he'll be kicking himself, but hopefully ARL can lift himself forward. He's on brand new medium tyres with hard runners and used mediums in front of him only. So he's in a good opportunity, a good position at the moment to build for the race, but he will almost certainly have to stop again. Then comes Marco in 14th place as the drivers slowly but surely bring themselves into contention here and into the snake of the safety car. Floydie says he was perhaps thinking it was a safety car, not a VSC, and he would have stayed out, but he was too busy watching the safety car Delta, ouch, or the Delta to the car in front, possibly, I imagine, to clip that wall. And unfortunately, that is his Saudi GP done and dusted. He is just a spectator now, is Floydie. So the Red Bull team were only represented by Floydie today, and unfortunately, they can now start the early pack-up procedure. Time from Kick Sauber and Aston Martin as things stand, as we wait for the safety car to having now picked up just about everybody, although ARL has now gone into the pits and put on old hard tyres that have already been used for 2 laps. He's fitting the hard tyres so that he can start at the back, make up places gradually and not have to pit, or at least be on the same strategy as everybody else. He only gave up 1 position to do that, but he has obviously lost that initial bite off the medium tyres he might have enjoyed. However, one thing you can be fairly certain of, safety cars have a horrible habit of breeding more safety cars on restarts when drivers just unleash the loud pedal and unfortunately often have issues a lap or 2 after we go green. But we're waiting then for the safety car in position, and they have obliged. Bernd Mailander has had enough on his way into the pits. Jay will become the de facto safety car. He gets to choose now when the restart proper takes effect, but hopefully only has 1 jump, only 1 press of the accelerator. This is one of the problems I find with this sim platform, is the amount of real estate given to the timing screen means you can't see in these glorious camera positions, you can't see what's going on. We'll ride with Moist and wait for Jay to press that right pedal. He's weaving at the moment, trying to catch Merckx off guard as they go gently, and that's quite a nice restart. But Ricky Maru already up alongside Moist, who on the soft tyres didn't quite get the bite, but Moist braked super heavily, super late, but he's knocked an end plate off his front wing. Unfortunately, Moist has clipped the barrier, and that's a clip on the barrier, Floydie, just so you know. Looks like Ricky Maru ended up running into the back of Moist, who was very nervous. Whoa, what a hold by Lemmy, who went almost side wall of tyre into the barrier. How did he hold that one? Tremendous grip from Lemmy as he gets back onto it. Cold tyres down the inside into turn 13 goes your previous leader Ricky Maru and current championship leader, overtaking the double champ Moist at this stage of the race, and Moist on the soft tyres as well. So Ricky feeling very flush with confidence, knows where the car is, but of course, strike moist with the damage on the front left of the front wing. You'll see no element. Now that'll help him in the high-speed sections, but he is super nervous about braking for the slower corners. And he's going to be a voyage of discovery, a very unbalanced car. But he's almost certainly going to have to pit. And the early season woes for our double champ continue. This one turning out to be quite a different championship for the Maestro. It's Jay in the lead by 0.7 of a second only from Merckx on different tyres, different strategy here, as Jay will be waiting for another safety car period to come in and get an equally cheap pit stop. Double lockups from the front two on the grid as they go down into the first corner at VMAX for the first time after the restart. It's lap 9 of 25. Looks like Ollie has passed Ricky Maru. No, Ricky Maru is still in fourth. Sorry, Ollie has passed his Diecta teammate from a different team, Milan, into fourth position. Milan slipping down to fifth place. Atsu is dropping down. Moist has pitted. Lots of pit stops after the restart. I think we had a plenty of contact there. Another huge lockup from Jay, who is really snatching those brakes on the slow ones. He's pushing incredibly hard on his old tyres to try and gap Merckx while he's got a small advantage on the tyre. But really, I don't think 8-lap-old mediums on almost new hards are going to be that different in terms of their feel for the drivers. We've got Jay in that first position. Merckx chasing down Ricky Maru. That early gamble has, at very least, neutralised itself. Whether it's necessarily paid off, I don't know, but he certainly hasn't taken any major loss. Here comes Merckx for the lead at the end of the 9th lap. Merckx into the final corner. He may get retaken here because he gives up the DRS detection for the next run, but Jay gives up the lead. Merckx retakes it, and it looks like he hasn't got the traction out of the final corner to fight. Tell you who is fighting. It's Ollie and Milan. Milan down the inside in the Williams. A big lockup on the front right, but he gets it stopped, and we've got some action from behind as well. That's Alpha Alex, who may have hit the barrier or may be under AI again. He was ghosted for a second as Lemmy made the pass. Lemmy into 6th place, but it is still Alpha Alex managing to keep the Ferrari in 7th place despite what looked to be some contact. He's managed to hold on for the time being. Behind Alpha Alex is ARL, who from the back of the grid during the safety car has made it up thanks to pit stops from others and staying out of trouble into 8th place. VCub are on 3rd and 8th place right now, but Ricky Maru already chasing down Jay, and Merckx is trying to get away here. Can Ricky Maru stay with Merckx despite not having the DRS opportunity that he had earlier? So Ricky is going to be desperate to get into the second position now because he can see Merckx starting to inch his way away. And certainly in Spain last week, whatever the conditions were, Ricky just didn't quite have the outright pace of Merckx to catch him without DRS. They could fight, and they could fight incredibly closely, but Merckx just had the edge. Even by Ricky's admission after the race, Merckx was the faster on the day. But this will help as Ricky Maru gets the DRS, passes into 2nd place, and he's still just about within terms of the leader. Down the inside goes Lemmy. Oh, big wiggle down to stop the car as Ollie defending to the inside. Looks like Lemmy passed both Ollie and Milan on that lap. And Alpha Alex is into the fray again. Now, Alpha Alex, tremendously quick driver, sometimes a little impatient to make passes. We'll see if that bears true as he sticks the Ferrari nose in. The Ferrari should handle well here in Jeddah. It certainly did earlier this year as he's looking to get the undercut here underneath the Williams. He'll try and stamp on the brakes late, but there's no tyre advantage between these two. In fact, if anything, Milan with the slightest of age advantage on the tyres. ARL is on the back of this one as well and looking to try and pick up any pieces that might be left over, or at least avoid any pieces that might be left over more accurately. I tell you what, Ollie is right on the back of Psycho Lemmy as well. There's a big gap developed between the two Mercedes at the moment. Jay still hasn't pitted. Through goes Ollie. That's an unusual pass there on the second DRS zone. Great pass from Ollie. and he's up into 4th place. We have a race on our hands, race fans. This one is going to be a tremendous one. Here comes Lemmy past Ollie once again to give up the DRS detection down the start-finish straight. And they'll go line astern once again. Merckx crosses the line. New fastest lap for Merckx from Ricky Maru, 1.9 seconds away. Ollie with the DRS on the back of the Mercedes of Lemmy. And it looks like the Williams behind of Milan is going to try it on. That's a bit game, isn't it? And Lemmy says, not right now. Not right now, Milan. I don't get double passed. Thank you very much. One is more than enough. It's Ricky Maru, though, 1.8 seconds away from the lead of the race. I'm impressed that Jay is holding on to the front two here, and the gap opening between P3 and P4 now out to 4.1 seconds. And Jay continues to lock brakes. It is much easier in this iteration and this maturation of the game. While the drivers are still getting used to the handling characteristics, these tyres lock way, way earlier and easier. Good evening to Travis. It's great to see you and join us here in the live trap. Nice to have you joining us. If that is Mad Trav, we had a problem with your hacked account spamming us all in my server in Discord. So maybe attend to that if it is Mad Trav, Travis. Merckx leads us 1.9 seconds from Ricky Maru. Here, though, comes Lemmy to the outside of Ollie. Round he goes, and it's another do-si-do of DRS, as we saw on the last lap, and it looks like, I think, Ollie will do exactly the same as before. No panic. Ollie just allowing him through. This time a defensive move to the inside from the Mercedes, perhaps to defend from the incoming Williams of Milan, because he tried to follow through last lap. Didn't quite work. We have a safety car. Atsu has retired. Safety car number 2. Merckx in the lead. And we will see what the drivers decide to do as they head in. No problem, Travis. Thank you for the apology. But no, it just happens. Happens everywhere. But I didn't handle it particularly well because I muted the account for a week, only for it to come back with a vengeance when the 1 week mute stopped. Anyway, back to business. Lap 13 of 25. Is the medium tyre window open to the end of the race? I think it might be. We're approaching half distance. We'll have a couple of cool laps under the safety car. I think the drivers will be able to now switch tactic and go to the medium tyres. Shout if you think I'm wrong in the live chat. We'll wait and see what Merckx decides to do. Ollie has picked up a penalty. That's pretty important for our race at the moment. Let's check that one out. 3 seconds for Ollie. I will have a quick look at position changes prior to any safety car pit stops. Jay up 3. Very impressive. Alpha Alex up 9 places right now. Marco up 6. And Milan up 5. Very, very good start from everybody. Double champion Moist, thanks to that restart contact with the barrier, down at 6 right now, but can roll the dice on the strategy potentially. So let's read and watch. Here they come then. Merckx into the pits. Off the hard tyre. Ricky Maru doing the same thing, staying on the leader strategy. Drive-through penalty for Sticky for speeding under the safety car. I was getting ahead of myself there for a moment. Given the timing of the race control message, I thought one of our leaders had picked up a penalty for speeding into the pit lane. But lots of pit stops underway. Marco on this 7-lap-old tyres is going in. Everybody thinking that this race can run on the medium tyres. Milan has stayed out on the hard tyres. They can run to the end of the race, but he will be vulnerable. Now, Jay is confusing me. Jay has gone onto the soft tyres. I cannot see the soft tyres lasting. Can you guys? I don't know. That will be a bit of a miracle if the soft tyres will run to the end of the race, but maybe he's just gambling on another and third safety car before the end of the race. We've had 2. We've had a VSC as well in this race, and that's where things stand anyway. We shall see if another one comes. But of course, we now only have 13 drivers left in the race. Pit stop's done. So Milan has picked up track position. As we were just looking at earlier. Milan now up 10, thanks to missing a pit stop essentially from everybody. Atsu says, whoa, Atsu, tell us what happened. That's what we want to know. We'd love it if you'd drop a line. Tell us what went down. But Merckx and Ricky Marou still in the pound seats here. They're now on medium tyres. Tired to a finish as they were earlier, but on fresh set of mediums now. Then comes Jay in fourth, who's put soft tyres on. He's up 2 places. Ollie down 2 with a penalty as well. Lemmy up 1. Alpha Alex still up 9 places. Alpha Alex had a difficult qualifying session, to say the least. I think was serving a quali ban or was late to the party. And in a good place in the championship as well. As he says, tyres got hot when he had a spin and then he lost the rear end in the corner. Do you know what? I'm hearing that a lot from our drivers community in the F124 platform, that the tyre effect of going off, overheating or getting them too cold takes a lot of rebuilding, and you can have accidents build on accidents. Alpha Alex into the pits. That's a surprise for me, but in he comes, Alpha Alex. He was only on 4-lap-old mediums. Perhaps he thought they wouldn't reach the end of the race, having already gone through a heat cycle. But unfortunately for him, pitting on the second lap of the safety car means he will lose every track position he picked up, or nearly every track position, as it looks like Speedy Spud and Sticky hadn't caught the train just yet. Alpha Alex out in 11th place, now on brand new medium tyres. I thought he might roll the dice there and put the soft tyres on, but we have Milan at the head of the field on old hard tyres, the oldest hard tyres on the circuit. Someone's locking up. Is that Merckx? Oh, he's riding the brake, I think, to generate tyre temperature. That's smart. Under safety car conditions, you can generate tyre temperature by just keeping a tiny amount of braking power on the car. The safety car is not coming in just yet. I'm hoping at the end of this lap, but it will slightly depend on whether Speedy Spud catches the end of the train. Chrome effects on the V-carb looking fantastic in the bright lights of the Saudi Grand Prix. So Merckx is in second place. We've got Ricky Marou in third. Potentially those guys net first and second as they were in Spain. But Ricky has done a good job here. Someone just went very wide through that corner, just trying to generate that tyre temperature. Jay is in fourth. Ollie is in fifth place with Lemmy in sixth. ARL in seventh for V-carb with Marco in eighth. PRS in ninth, and Moist, our double champ, down in 10th place. Look out for Moist, though, on the restart. He's got a hard tyre driver in front of him. He's got drivers who are potentially a little slower than him on normal race conditions in front of him as well. Floydie says his steering got light, then his front left popped up in front of me. Yes, your steering wheels suddenly get quite light if one of the wheels is no longer making contact with the ground. Riding on board then, third place Ricky Marou, and waiting for Milan to restart our race. Does he gun it at the apex of the final corner, or does he wait all the way to the start line, as many drivers do, to eliminate the chance of... I think he's building speed. He's not quite. This is going to confuse the drivers behind. We may get some crunching as off goes Milan. It looks like Merckx anticipated that launch well. There was reduced opportunities for Milan to cause any surprises as we got closer and closer to the line. But Ricky Marou chasing down that second place off Merckx, who is looking down the inside, getting very greedy very early in this restart. He doesn't want to get pounced on, but equally he also doesn't want to stick his nose where it doesn't really belong and end up getting damaged. So Merckx needs to balance that natural aggressiveness that he's got to try and make a clean pass. He'll have an opportunity into or around the outside of turn 13 as they go in. The Mercedes playing with each other here. Brand new Mercedes team, all new lineup for this race. They haven't really sorted out their inter-team positions or squabbling. They probably even haven't had a chance to get to know each other very well. Lemmy picks up a penalty by just hopping over that curb, but Merckx is all over Milan. Merckx side by side here, getting the traction, drive out of the corner and just hogging the inside line, just holding it into a very, very difficult Lance Stroll style corner. That one goes. Merckx into the lead then, back once again, as either side of Merck tries the drivers battling him. The Mercedes powered Williams around the outside of Milan, trying to make that move, didn't quite work. Is he clipping or is he on harvesting mode heavily? It's difficult to tell. Looks like Ollie getting through as well. Evening to Jessica. Down the inside, tries several drivers. Ricky Moreau now into second place. The McLaren of Ollie into third place, but he's got a penalty on the car. Ollie has been right there with the pace, though, around Jeddah today with our Spanish Grand Prix duelists of Merckx and Ricky Moreau. Oh, Alpha Alex has retired from the session. Alpha Alex out. Sticky, I'm not sure whether we will see Alpha Alex. Let's ride. We've got yellow flags. Will it develop into anything? Sticky needs to try and get round to turn 4, possibly. No, we're not going to see, sadly, what happened to the car. But suffice to say, turn 4 has ended a couple of drivers' dreams tonight. As Jessica and Floydie have their own chat here, as they tend to. They could potentially. I think they could share a screen and a chat, but they're contributing to the success of the channel and the league by double watching this one. Merckx is in first, Ricky Maroon second, and Ollie in third place. We've got Milan in fourth, some distance back now, who was leading our restart, but it is battle lines drawn between these three, at least on track, before penalties are taken into account later on. The Mercedes continue to play for team supremacy as the bright green helmet Lemmy manages to get ahead this time. And it looks like, is that ARL coming down the inside? Look, everybody's locked up into turn 1. That was some contact. Surely there was a little bit of diffuser breakage or front wing breakage going on. That diffuser on the Williams looking a little bit less than ideal, but that looked like debris coming through turn 1 from the perspective of ARL, who still is at the back of this group of 4. But by rights, he'll feel he should be right up in the front group and getting round the outside of the Williams, who I think has got some damage on the car because he's slow through the fast corners as down the inside tries Moist round turn 13. Merckx leads Ricky Moreau by 0.5 of a second. It's no change at the front, but it's all change in the midfield as now ARL from the back of the group goes forward into 6th place. ARL on the charge here. Jay is on soft tyres and they're already decaying. I think he'll be sort of tiptoeing around in the final 8 laps of this race as the Mercedes debuting with us for the season at least. Alpha Alex, we say goodbye to Alex. I wonder if he'll drop into the chat and let us know what happened. Hopefully he will once he's taken a breather. Here are the front 3 though. Merckx, Ricky Moreau and Ollie locked in battle. Ricky Moreau will have DRS here, so will Ollie. We could end up 3 wide into turn 1, and that is a very narrow corner at the best of times. Sometimes drivers struggle to go 1 wide into turn 1. Down they come then, screaming and locking tyres down into the corner as ARL has caught Moist, and he is on the hunt here. He'll be buoyed up by the fact that he is at the same pace and track position as our double champion, but the podium drivers are getting away. 2.4 seconds, which is quite quick after the safety car restart. The second safety car, that gap has opened quite quickly. Ricky has Atsu cheering him on, despite the fact that Atsu drives for Kick Sauber. I think his teammate Merckx might have some words to say by cheering on the wrong driver here, but maybe Atsu's one of those types of teammates, you know, the ones who are actually just team enemies, frankly. Psycho Lemmy's in 4th, starting to stretch the gap to Jay, his teammate, with Moist and ARL continuing to battle. But at the front, this is still the closest battle and the most important battle. It's Ricky Moreau versus Merckx times 2. As Floydie says, they're brothers. Atsu and Ricky Moreau, or Atsu and Merckx? That's more important. So looking for the opportunity down the inside. Merckx kind of outfoxed him there a little bit, as Atsu says. something, but my chat hasn't caught up. Sorry, guys. Here comes Ricky Maru, side by side with Merck to take the lead. Can he do it? Squeezing down the inside. Merck's holding his line, as he has every right to do, and Ollie's going to sneak down the inside. Ollie side by side now with Ricky, who turns attack into defence. Off the track goes the McLaren. Surely that's a warning at least. Surely, really, he should give the place back, and quickly, because with this happening, Merck gets away. But quite often a driver off track will feel that they were pushed there. I do think Ollie, on my first viewing of that incident, Ollie was a little bit opportunistic. So, but yes, Floydie confirming Atsu and Ricky Maru are brothers. Fantastic stuff. But sometimes brothers don't cheer each other on. I should know. Yeah, we had another retirement. I think that was Sticky. That's another yellow flag, but Sticky in the pits retiring. So let me know what you think. Should Ollie give that place back to Ricky, or is it all fair until the stewards say otherwise? He's got a penalty as well, has Ollie. And so Ricky will be getting a little bit of the red mist starting to form. He's got the chance, though, now to overtake. He's got the DRS open, but so has Ollie. Merckx not able to get away from them. As Floydie said, you should see Atsu and Ricky practicing together. I'll bet. But it's nice that at least in race trim, they're supporting each other. Ricky with the DRS. Good exit from the corner. Looks to get the line down the inside. Oh, squeezes it Albon style between the two cars. Beautiful from Ricky. As Respond says, he's not sure. It looked like he was pushed off a bit, so we should keep it in his opinion. It's immaterial now. Ricky won't care. That's in the past. All that's left are the remaining 5 laps, including the one they're on. That's all Ricky cares about. Can he overhaul Merckx? The fact that Ollie got in his way for a lap is in the past. Ollie has a penalty. Doesn't need to factor into this one. Now that is an unusual thing, unworthy of a screen clip. Moist with a 3-second time penalty. He's pushing hard, and he's pushing slightly too hard. The Aston Martin just not performing for him here around the Jeddah circuit. PRS with a penalty. They're really clocking up now as we enter the final business end of this Saudi Grand Prix. Ricky Maru is within a quarter of a second of Merckx, but can he get ahead and stay ahead? They had no problem trading places in Spain. They had no problem trading places earlier in the race, but it starts to get a lot more defensive as we build towards the finish here. Merckx pulling to the inside. Ollie ready to pounce though, and Ricky not going for a low percentage move. He knows that Ollie is right there with him. He's going to need some ERS profit, is Ricky. So maybe a lap or two to harvest and keep Merckx guessing. All the time, though, the penalised Ollie behind is having problems trying to make the overtake. But overtaking is Moist into 4th place. Now, he has a penalty. ARL could pick up a few places here if he can just get forward on the Grand Prix. ARL has 2 penalised drivers in front of him, but he needs to pass Jay, and he needs to follow Moist up towards the top 3. But Merckx in 1st place holds on for the time being as we head towards that turn 13 banked corner. We'll get another load of DRS in a couple of corners time for the drivers. Everyone using and enjoying the DRS, but Merckx cursing that DRS right now and wishing that it died a death, I think, because if we didn't have DRS available, I think that Merckx would be well and away the fastest driver on the grid over the form of the last 2 races anyway. Ricky is right there in his wheel tracks, but Ollie is even closer to Ricky. This is fascinating stuff. I have seen close races around this circuit end in tears on the final lap. It may even have been in this very league in the last season, but trying to squeeze to the inside is Ollie. Oh, bit of a contact there, but where else could Ricky go? He was up against the wall, and they just collided. Something broke on the McLaren as we look. I'm trying to hit the zoom button that I get in Gran Turismo 7 to try and see close up on the McLaren car. But certainly we saw something clatter off that McLaren, but no visible damage. Certainly with my limited eyesight and connection here, potentially I don't get all the graphical detail that the drivers do. And we see anything missing on the McLaren. I can't see anything, possibly a bit of floor damage on the side near the left side pod. But looking to try and sneak down the inside again. Oh, Moist is out. Moist is out of the race. That's the double champ out of our race. Sadly, that's huge. And he's out in the pits as well. So he must have picked up damage, because he would not be voluntarily retiring with some big names at the top of the race order. Hopefully he'll stop by one of the chat rooms and let us know what happened. But absolute chaos at the end, says Respond. It could be ARL's win after all. 5.6 seconds down. He's moved into 4th position. He needs to close this gap to Ollie, and he could be on the podium for VCARB at least, irrespective of whether these three come together. Brilliant overhead shots, which I wish we saw more of in F1 24, in all of the F1 series. I wish we could select that helicopter cam at will as spectators. But Ricky Maru has the DRS. He's waiting to pounce. He doesn't want to give up the opportunity too early. He's thinking tactically. I know he had a lot of kind of reminiscences and regrets from the round in Spain after the race. He was happy with the pace, but he felt tactically he could have done a little bit better. He also picked up a penalty right at the end on the penultimate lap, did Ricky, for track limits, and those are adding up here. Atsu saying Ollie is quite a big headache there, and Atsu, I think, with some inside knowledge, might even be looking over the shoulder of Ricky Maru if they are brothers. We will see, but I think Ricky be wise to shut out all He knows what he's doing. Ricky Maru in that second position, 1/4 of a second away from Merckx, and I think playing the waiting game here. As Atsu said, Ricky is finding Ollie to be quite a pain. He can't move around under Merckx. He can't try and put Merckx off and make him go onto different lines, because as soon as he opens the door, Ollie's going to walk straight through it. And even then, the door was partly open into the final corner. No one willing to give this up, but the tiniest mistake as we head into the final lap of the race. Surely now Ricky is going to have to go for it. We're going to have a drag finish out of the final corner, I feel, as Ricky late on the brakes, locking up slightly. Was that a little wiggle from the front wing as Jessica's cheering on Ollie? We've got Atsu cheering Ricky, not his teammate Merckx. But as he said, Merckx could do with the second place. It is one win apiece for Ricky and Merckx in the first 2 rounds of the championship. Ollie cannot feature on the win unless the 2 drivers in front of him pick up penalties themselves. ARL is desperately trying to catch within 3 seconds of Ollie, but it doesn't look like he's going to get there, as I say, unless we get a major problem. Jay is the next one with a penalty on the car. We're going to have a mixed up order in the latter part of the race. Side by side, line astern, they were going to be down into the final corner and out of it especially. Merckx has got the rear red light flashing. Here goes Ricky for the lead of the race on the final lap, but is it too early? We will see, as Ricky using the ERS, he's now got the red light flashing. Has he kept enough in hand to power down this final run to the final corner? And then out of the final corner, I think he's got it if he can hold the inside line down the outside. Runs the kick Sauber. It's Ricky versus Merckx to the line. Merckx just getting the overlap, but who will get it to the end? It is going to be Merckx just from Ricky Maru. Ollie with a +3 penalty, but that could not have been much closer. ARL 3.6 seconds back. What a finish from the guys. Take a bow. Merckx and Ricky. 0.232 was what separated them at the flag. Speedy Spud just ahead of Milan and Lemmy on the line in reverse order thanks to penalties. Marco with some points for Aston Martin, and PRS will come through. But my word, what a finish. There is your winner. Merckx. 2 from 2 for Merckx. 2 races from the first 3 with 2 second places and a win from Ricky. Brilliant, brilliant finish. I don't know how Speedy Spud got driver of the day, but I apologise because I didn't see it. But brilliant stuff from them. Absolutely tremendous. Congratulations, as Floydie says, way to go, Spud, as well. The Union flag flies once again today, and we have the curious sight of drivers who have yet to deselect a default female driver, I think. Lifting the trophy then for Kick Sauber for the second time running. Merckx is getting quite the streak going for the Kick Sauber team, but Ricky Maru taking fantastic points for his championship, especially while moist. No scores today. Brilliant stuff. Congratulations to our podium. Merckx wins with a great battle. Less than a quarter of a second separating the top two at the line, and less than half a second on the road for the top three. Merckx beats Ricky Maru by the finest of margins from Ole, who picks up a penalty but gets the fastest lap and an extra point. Then comes ARL in fourth place. He'd be relatively happy with that because his race was looking a lot worse at one point. Jay returning to us with a fifth place. Then comes Speedy Spud in sixth with a driver of the day because he started in 13th position. Milan in seventh, Lemmy in eighth, Marco in ninth. We have PRS finishing the race and picking up the final point, with Moist, Sticky, Alpha Alex, Atsu, Floyd and Leon all retiring from the race. I'm not 100% sure when our next race will be, but make sure you subscribe to the channel today. Thank you so much for liking the video on your way out and for all the engagement, both in the live chat and in the comments later on. My name's Webbo. This is the International Racing League. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.